I like the kind of audience who really wants to focus on how to make money. I love that. One thing we got to get down is your terms and why I'm using assets, liabilities, income statements, profit loss statements, and etc. Because if you're really trying to make money easily, you got to know these terms. So let's start with the first one, financial literacy. If you know what literacy is, then you know what financial literacy is. It's pretty much how money is coming in, how money is coming out, and how finances work and how money works. Now look, I'm gonna talk to you guys like you know a little bit of information, but I'm gonna still explain it to you. If you know nothing about what I'm saying, please look some of these up. First thing you need to know, what is passive income? Passive income is pretty much where you make money without really working for it or putting minimal amount of work into it. And that's what we're going to talk about in this video. So we're going to start from the hardest thing to the most practical thing you can get for making passive income. But let me just take a minute to explain all the terms for you. What is an asset? An asset is something that you are getting money from, like passive income, royalties, stocks, anything that can put money in your account. Now, liabilities. Now, a lot of people get these mixed up. What is a liability? A liability is stuff that takes money out of your account. Cars, liability. It doesn't provide you money. People think it's an asset, but it's not because it always depreciates in value, so it's a liability. Houses, liability, if you know how to use it right. It could be a liability if you focus on getting the most expensive house and maybe you rent it out to somebody, but you're not making the exact profit you want. You keep putting too much time into it, so it's not even a passive income. And it's not even an asset because you're wasting so much money on it. TVs, accessories, appliances, stuff like that. Those are all liabilities. People can be liabilities too. Anything could be a liability if it takes money out of your pocket. Now I just said, what is a profit loss statement? A profit loss statement is how you identify how much profit you're making and how much you're losing, which is your income and expenses. Now a balance sheet is your assets and liabilities. This is all a lot of information, so if I need to make a whole nother video on it, I most likely will. But let's get into it because I spent way too much time on it. From the hardest to the easiest, so stick along. If I'm already starting with something really expensive, it's going to get way more practical, trust me. It is the most expensive asset you can probably get if you know what you're doing. The reason I said that real estate was a liability was for the main purpose of people get the most lavish house and go way over their budget, expecting to make way more profit out of it, or maybe make some mistakes that's not practical. And that's how they lose way more money and get into way more debt. Real estate could be a great way to make money, one of your biggest assets, but it also could be one of your biggest liabilities depending on how you do it. But we're talking about how to get passive income and make it into a great asset for you. Let me give you a rundown if you don't know how real estate works. You buy a house, most people mortgage a house, which is reasonable because you can't buy a whole house with, $300,000 to spare. So you put $20,000 as a down payment. That's pretty much 20%, maybe even more than that. I'm giving you a baseline. After that, you get a mortgage and, you got the house, right? You got the house. Now you got to pay the bank back monthly. Now, this is a thing called house hacking. There's multiple ways you could do it, and I'll get into it in another video. Buying a house and renting it to other people. And usually, they'll rent it for the same price the house costs, but a little bit more. So that way, they're making some money off of it. So if the house was $1,500 for the mortgage, you might charge $1,700 or maybe $2,000, depending on how greedy you want to be. A lot of smart people don't know this. It's called house hacking. You get a really small duplex, right? The mortgage is pretty low. Maybe, I don't know if this is practical, but $750 for mortgage, So you live in the first house, and then the other person, you rent the other house out for maybe the same price, or maybe a little bit more. Maybe it was $750 for the mortgage. Now, you charge the other person $800 to live in that other side of the apartment. Now, not only are you making a cash flow, you're also living in that house for free. Now, what is cash flow? Cash flow is pretty much how money comes in and how money comes out. If it's a positive cash flow, that means getting way more money in than you're getting way more money out. So let's say you get $750 income and you have to spend $500. That's a positive cash flow of $250 that you just got in your pocket that you could do whatever with. That's what a cash flow is. And that's how most people get rich too. Because not only do they do one house, they do multiple duplexes or trailers or whatever, even raw land. But it is the most expensive and takes the most amount of time to get started up. So I'll make other videos about it to inform you about it. So if you don't want to invest in the real estate properties, that's understandable. You can do investment properties. So this is how it works, pretty much, the practical rundown of it. It's like a stock, pretty much. Put your money into it, and typically you keep your money in it, and you put a lot of money. I'd say a lot, because the more money you put in, the higher the dividend. And you want to pay attention to what dividend is. Profit that you get for keeping your money into that stock. So it's free money for as much money as you put in that stock. Now, dividends have a really low percentage rate, depending on the stock. Real estate investment properties have to give you a higher dividend rate. So it's either 3% to 8%. Now look, don't turn away from that right now. Because think about it this way. Let's say you have $8,000 into a real estate property. That is $800 that you could be getting into your account by doing nothing. You just kept $8,000 into your account. Now look, I know that's a lot. That's why it's the second thing. But you could do anything from like $2,000 to $5,000 and make decent profit out of it. You put $1,000 in, right? $1,000. You can get $1,000 practically, hopefully. What's $1,000 of 8%? I think it's 80, but I could be wrong. But yes, you make $80 for putting $1,000 in. Could be lower, could be higher. I don't know my math that well, but you get the point. It's easy money. Easy money that you could just put in for yields. Dividend yields is something you want to always look at and pay attention to the dividend yield. The higher the dividend percentage, the higher amount of money you'll get on that stock. Dividends don't come easy. You have to wait for those things. You could get it annually, you could get it semi-annually, you could get it quarterly. It depends on the company. You just have to do your own research on it. Anything could be a dividend. Any stock can have dividends in it. Some barely give dividends at all. Some will give you 1% for a dividend. So that means $10 for every $1,000 you put into it, you know? There's a lot of stocks out there that can give you a high dividend yield. But you also got to do the research on how that company performs, because it might hurt you more than help you. Focusing on dividend only by itself isn't always practical, because you got to pay attention to volatility, which I get into all these terms in another video, but volatility is pretty much how much it moves up and how much it moves down. Pay attention to dividends, because those can really help you if you do the proper research. I don't use affiliate marketing. And to be honest, I wish I did have an affiliate marketing I could use. Pretty much, affiliate marketing is where you have a link on your account and you advise people to click the link so they can go buy this product, and when they buy the product, you get a commission out of it. A lot of YouTubers do it. I don't know if you know this, but a lot of YouTubers say, they sponsor their video, they say, hey, click this in a bio, all that. I used to do that too, but I never got paid for it or anything, but I did it just because I want to help my brother's brand out and stuff. Affiliate marketing can be really beneficial, especially if you have a high traffic and a high niche. You can get a share of that money because they clicked your link and maybe they used your promo code. Now, you got a percentage off because people are buying that product. Simple as that. Passive income, because you're not really doing much for it. You're just collecting money on the side. Although it's not the most reliable option, it is worth putting out there, especially if you have a large audience. What is a high yield savings account? A savings account that gives you money back for saving your money, pretty much. When it comes to banks, this isn't really practical. They give you like 0.01%, which it's I'm gonna tell you right now, that's you'd have to put decent amount of money in to get a decent amount of money back out of it. However, there's a way around this. If you put your money into online banking, which I don't exactly trust because who knows what can happen to that bank, you can get a way higher savings yield. You see, online banking does give you a lot more high yield savings account because that's relatively what they're known for in a way. They give you 5%. So you could put like $10,000 into your account. It's pretty much like $1,000 you'd get back. Those aren't the best options, I'm gonna be honest with you. They could be a little risky, but it's not as risky, especially if it's FDIC approved. Now, FDIC approved just means they're insured, and whatever happens to the account, whatever happens to the bank, it will automatically pay you back all the money because it's insurance pretty much. It's showing you that if a company breaks down, you won't lose your money. So pick and choose that, really. So I just bought this. This is the way that I am going to make passive income. It's not a lot. It's not a lot at all. This could be really beneficial, especially if you make it a business. Now, although one of these is not going to make me a lot of money, a lot of these will make me a lot of money, especially if I hire somebody who's going to do this for me. This comes with a lot of work at first. Almost everything I name pretty much takes a lot of work at first, but once this baby's in there in a business or so, the most amount of money I could probably make is $10. Yeah, not a lot, but who knows? I could probably make more depending on where it's at. This is a good way to start. This right here is considered your asset. The reason it's an asset and not a liability is because it puts money into your pocket. It's a good way to start. It's a great way to start. And once you start this, you can move forward and try other things. So try it first, see how it feels with you. And if you like it, keep going with it. Next video, I'll talk about more of terminology, finances, and things that you need to know about financial literacy. And once you know this, then you can start really focusing on making money and worrying about all stuff like this. Because you need knowledge before you invest in stuff like that. Thank you for watching, and I love y'all, and have a great time. See you. TVs. So focusing on dividend. God. So, you have a lot of people who click on links a lot. What the hell am I talking about? You have a lot of people who click on links. I still don't know what I'm talking about. So you have a lot of people who click. I don't know what I'm talking about. I need to back up. You'll start seeing money in these things. You'll start seeing it, and you'll start seeing money, and